Okay, so in this video I'm going to run a complete tutorial on how to set up a chart to run the automated strategy, and we're going to be using one of the examples in the unit of automated strategies. So if you go to unit 4, which you would be in if you're watching this tutorial, so in unit 4, if you scroll down to the post, and I'm going to refer to the one I did yesterday, I'm going to try and be as clear as possible in the post itself as to what settings were used, what size charts were used, and how they were configured. So if we look at yesterday's chart, it says here, in this example I have two charts, one beneath the other. I have an MNQ 144 with a DTB Wick Trader indicator set to 144, and an MNQ 88 chart with DTB shadow trading indicator set to default. So let me do that. So I'm going to do exactly what it says in the post, and this is what you would do if you were watching this video and you were looking at this post. You would just do the exact same thing. So let me go and open up those two charts. So I go new chart and I type MNQ. Okay, so the first one I said was a 144. I'm taking break at end of day off, so I always take break at end of day off on all my charts. In fact, in a new update of the DTB bars, I'm going to make sure that that's off by default, if it's possible. I'm not sure. So break at end of day off. I don't have center price on scale. I have text or marker. Sometimes I just have markers only, so that's fine. As soon as I've done that with all these settings, I'm going to click on OK. Alright, now that's going to bring up this chart. So that's the chart I just created. Now it might appear in full screen for you. You know, it might appear a different size, but that is the chart that's come up. I've just resized it to make it smaller because I'm having two charts, one beneath each other. So one of the first things we do is look at the chart trader and we see which account we're working with. So I'm going to be changing this to the Sim NQ1 Automated. Okay, so that is the chart, the account that I'm working on this specific example, and that is the chart. So I've got my chart set up. Okay, and as I mentioned in the post, I have an MNQ 144 with DTB Wick Trader indicator set to 144. So let's go and add that indicator. So DTB Wick Trader indicator, that's the first one. I'm enabling that and I'm setting it to 144. On bar close, everything is the same, and I'm clicking OK. Okay, now that that indicator has loaded, I'm going to do the next one. So I've got an MNQ 88 with DTB shadow trading indicator set to default. So that's the next chart I'm going to open. So I'm going to go to my control panel, which is there. I'm going to go new chart. I'm going to go MNQ. I'm setting up an 88 chart with no break at end of day, so same as the previous one. And I'm going to make this one just with markers, and I'm going to click on OK. And that has brought up another chart. So I'm going to put that underneath the other one. I'm also going to make sure that the chart trader is matching the top one because we're trading on that specific account. So when you're trading live, you put your live account on both sections. If you're trading on a specific demo account, put both demo accounts on each chart. So just to make this neat and tidy, I am going to resize these charts so they just fit my screen well. Okay, so the next step, as in the post, so I've got my MNQ88 with DTB Shadow Trading Indicator. Okay, so now I've got to go add the DTB Shadow Trading Indicator to the second chart. So I'm right clicking on the chart, I'm going to Indicators, I'm finding the DTB Shadow Trading Indicator, and I said set to default, so I'm just going template, reset, just to make sure that it is default, apply, and OK. Alright, so now those two are loaded up. Now I notice already that my margin on my chart is not the right width, so I'm going to right click on the chart and I'm going to go properties, and I'm going to change my right side margin and I'm going to make it 250. Apply, and I'm actually going to preset this so that it always opens up a chart in that size. So that's the top one, and I'm going to do the same with the bottom one. I'm going to go properties, and I'm going to change my chart right size margin to 250. So that's going to give me the chart lined up correctly. Okay, so I've done that, and I've done that. Now I'm going to add the DTB Medina Wick Trader Trending Baseline Strategy to a 3 retracement, 144 stop ticks, 10 target, 5 entries per direction with calculate on each tick as default. So I'm going to go and add that strategy now. I enabled the strategy when the 8-8 chart with shadow trading gave me a signbar. Okay, so I'm going to go and add the DTB Medina Wick Trader strategy to the 8-8 chart. Sorry, I'm not adding it to the 8-8 chart. I'm adding the Wick Trader strategy to the 144 chart, because that is where the strategy is going to be running off. So I'm right clicking on the strategies tab. I'm double clicking on the strategy there. I said it was going to be a 3 retracement with a 10 target, 144 stop on each tick, and I'm choosing the account that I'm working on. So I'm working on the MNQ Automated 1. I'm doing that. I've got 5 entries per direction. I'm disabling the auto start at this stage, and then I'm clicking apply and then OK. Right, so now if I have a look at the settings, that's exactly what I put in there. Okay, and the rest is just doing what I said in the video of when to activate it, when to start the strategy. But that is basically the setup for this chart that I put up yesterday. So like I mentioned before, I'm going to try and be as specific as possible in my instructions of how to set the chart up. The only thing I could have done differently here is I could have said there, this strategy is applied to the 144 chart. So I'm going to go in and edit that post, and I'm going to put that in there now. This was applied to the 1-144 chart, not the 8-8. Okay, so that should be clearer there. I don't know why I did that, but anyway. Okay, perfect. So now that should be it. So I've made it clear. I've got the 2 charts. I've got the strategy. And I always like to make sure I don't make spelling mistakes. Okay, so everything is pretty clear in there with regards to setting up the chart. So I'm going to move that over now, and here is my chart. Alright, so I've got the strategy. Now I'm not sure why the strategy is not showing there, because it's been enabled. So I just got to go back in and click on the enable button, apply it again, and OK. Alright, so there it is over there. Now what I'm going to do is similar to what happened yesterday. I had some cyan bars. The price was trending in an upwards direction. It was currently a very low point, 61.8. So now I'm actually going to go and start the strategy with the idea to trade the price back up to the baseline. Yeah, so just go in, and you can always move your charts around so it's all very clear. Keep it as simple as possible. You don't have to have this Fibonacci tool on here. I think it's just a good indication of where price is, where you can activate the strategy. So I think it's a great tool to have. Keep it as simple as possible. Follow the cyan arrows, the red arrows when you're activating the strategy. And just as a side little note on the strategy itself, if you've got red bars like this and the price is already up high at the baseline, you don't want to be selling, because there's a good chance that the price is still going to continue up, unless you're doing small little scalping trades manually. But ideally you want this to be happening with price. You want the momentum line to be up, you want price to be still bouncing around low, and that's when you can trade some good wicks back to the baseline. And that's what's happening over here. We've had some nice trades entering and taking small profits, just a 10 tick target, and hopefully that's going to continue all the way up to the baseline. So there we go. That was a quick tutorial on setting up a chart for the automated strategy. I think this is a really simple and effective strategy to run and to practice, having these two charts. Have them beneath each other, like have the 8.8 beneath the 144 like this as an example, because that way the shadow trader indicator can work very effectively. The settings can look all right, and you also want to make sure you're not bunching up the indicator like this. It's not designed to be squeezed. It's got to be positioned in a way that is showing you accurate results, and you'll be able to pick up those accurate results just by the way you position the indicator. So you want it to be about like that. The top one doesn't matter about that. You can do what you want with that one. It's the bottom one where the indicator is giving you the right signal. So that one you've got to make sure is right. So however you want to make it look on your screen, you can change your color of your bars, but this is a really effective setup. So I've got a 144 and an 8.8. Now obviously if you're trading the ES or you're trading the the MES, the YM, there's different bar sizes that would be more effective. Now obviously the larger the bar size you go, the less breakages in baselines there are going to be. So bear that in mind, and just based on your experience with watching the charts of how many baselines appear and how much movement the price is having, that is when you will change the baseline. So I've chosen the 144 just because it's a good Fibonacci number. On the MNQ, you can certainly go and experiment with a few different numbers. Even on the ES, I found that the 76 is a good number to work with. So, you might have a 176 on the ES and then a 5.5 in the bottom window. You could have a 1,305 for the NQ. Also, that's also a big number, a good baseline, and then you could have a 1010 as the bottom chart. So you should be able to play around with this configuration of having your trending baseline on top and your shadow trading mixed or together with a smaller 8-8 or a 5-5 chart at the bottom, and that's really going to set you up for success, you know, running this strategy. And once you look at this enough times and you really get to understand how it works, you're going to love the simplicity of it and you're going to absolutely love the results. Okay, so thank you very much.